Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to what's making news, let's head outside and take a look outside our weather window on this Tuesday in a little different scenario than yesterday where we had all that wind and clouds. Today, very calm wind conditions. We've been seeing plenty of sunshine today too, and the good news is, as I mentioned, no wind. Although temperatures have been cooler, no doubt about that, and with clear skies tonight, take a look at some of these low temperatures. Moses Lake 20, Wenatchee 26 degrees, 18 in Plain, and 14 degrees for an overnight low up in Winthrop. So yes, many of us will see the coldest night that we've had so far this year. And we'll talk more weather coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. An Okanagan County man's conviction for trying to kill the head of Gebers Farms has been upheld. A man from Kalama pleaded guilty yesterday to sexually molesting a child in Chelan County. And North Central Washington resident Norma Gallegos is one of 11 people appointed to a state advisory panel on police violence. But first, our top story tonight, a collision between a pickup and a flatbed semi last night on Interstate 90 near the Vantage Bridge has claimed the life of a Bellevue man. The Washington State Patrol says at about 7:15, a 23 Dodge Ram 1500 pickup being driven westbound by 57-year-old Dale B. McLean was following a flatbed truck being driven by 38-year-old Jacob J. Anderson of Davenport when McLean's truck struck the rear of that semi. McLean was pronounced dead at the scene. Both trucks were in the left lane of the interstate with the flatbed slowing down due to a collision ahead. Anderson and his passenger were not injured. An Okanagan man's conviction for trying to kill the head of Gebers Farms has been upheld. The State Court of Appeals ruled today that Mark Reynolds' worth failed to show his 2019 trial was unfair. In September of 2016, Worth drove alongside Gebers Farms CEO Cass Gebers on Old Highway 97 near Brewster Flats and then opened fire with a handgun. Gebers was not struck but received minor injuries from broken glass. Investigators said Worth had previously stalked and harassed Gebers and members of his family. A jury convicted Worth of attempted first-degree murder and drive-by shooting. He's now serving a prison sentence of 25 years. Meanwhile, a man from Kalama pleaded guilty yesterday to sexually molesting a child in Chelan County and now faces a likely prison term of nearly 5 years. Prosecutors want 35-year-old Alejandro Alcala to serve at least 59 and a half months. Sheriff's deputies arrested him in 2019 after a child victim disclosed instances of abuse dating back 3 years when she was 9 years old. Alcala pleaded to a single count of child molestation in Superior Court. He faces sentencing on January 18th. North Central Washington resident Norma Gallegos is one of 11 people appointed to a state advisory panel on police violence. Governor Jay Inslee today announced the board members of the Office of Independent Investigations. That's a newly created department that investigates police use of force. Gallegos is one of 4 representatives of the general public on that board, which also includes prosecutors, police representatives, and tribal members. She's an immigration services coordinator living in Leavenworth and the sister of the late Saul Gallegos, a Chelan County Sheriff's deputy killed by a suspect back in 2003. Well, coming up next, for the second day in a row, windstorms caused widespread power outages and falling trees in north central Washington. Less than a week after it was placed in the ground, East Wenatchee's 30-foot Christmas tree also fell victim to Sunday's windstorm. Cabinet secretaries and members of Congress were on hand yesterday when President Joe Biden signed off on the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill. And almost 2 years after heavy snow destroyed a remote bridge in the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest, its replacement is now in place. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
At Wenatchee Power Sports, we proudly offer the Polaris product line. Polaris builds the highest quality side-by-side in the industry, with off-road capability that's second to none. The Polaris pre-order program allows customers to purchase the vehicle they want without having to select from limited dealer inventory. The Wenatchee Valley has year-round access to some of the best ORV trails in the Northwest. Start your adventure here at Wenatchee Power Sports.
Welcome back. In another news, for the second day in a row, windstorms caused widespread power outages and falling trees in north central Washington. In Chelan County, power was out for several hours for about 350 customers in the Manson area Monday night. Earlier in the afternoon, there were a pair of power outages in the South Shore area of Lake Wenatchee. That affected about 450 Chelan PUD customers. In Grant County, crews scrambled to address multiple power outages throughout the county, including in the Moses Lake, George, and Royal Slope areas. Meanwhile, in Okanogan County, a toppled tree blocked both lanes of Highway 153 near Benson Creek Drive for several hours, while further south, both a tree and an irrigation wheel line had to be cleared from the highway. In the same area, Okanogan PUD had to replace 2 power poles that fell and knocked out power to the area for several hours. Power also went out briefly in the Pateros and Tonasket areas. Well, less than a week after it was placed on the ground, East Wenatchee's 30-foot Christmas tree also fell victim to Sunday's windstorm. Despite the setback to the planned December 2nd lighting ceremony, the city says its annual Wings and Wishes will go on. The city said a pre-dug hole that the tree had been placed in a week ago Monday was ruined when the 6,600-pound tree fell over and it's too wet to dig a new one. Still, the lighting of City Hall will still take place and Santa will be arriving in a fire truck. In addition, there will be Christmas carols and more. Cabinet secretaries and members of Congress were on hand yesterday when President Joe Biden signed off on the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill. Among them was 8th District Congresswoman Kim Schreier, whose Legacy Road and Trails Act was incorporated in the bill, designating $100 million for wildland trails, fish passage, and watershed improvements.
This will bring amazing things to the 8th District. We're talking about roads and bridges and broadband and water conservation. But we're also talking about my bill, the Legacy Roads and Trails, that will help preserve or decommission roads in our national forests and protect salmon habitat and water. Thanks so much, and on to the signing.
Almost 2 years after heavy snow destroyed a remote bridge in the Okanogan-Wenatchee National Forest, its replacement is now in place. The bridge is on the Indian Creek Trail in the Glacier Peak Wilderness. The Wenatchee River Ranger District crew began working the new bridge last fall using crosscut saws to fall a large nearby Douglas fir tree. The bark was peeled off ahead of winter to prevent rot. Work resumed this summer with mules used to haul in needed equipment. Using heavy-duty cable pullers and logging, blocked the crew maneuvered the giant log into place. With the bridge now replaced, the trail again offers a key access point to the Pacific Crest Trail. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
What is home? A place to gather, a place to grow, provide shelter for the ones we love, eat, drink, restore, build trust. It's a place to rest when the workday is done, a place to find quiet after a night of good fun. What an honor we have at Guild to help own, finance, create, pave the way to live in home.
Traditional values and innovation in honoring the life of each family we serve is part of the ministry of Heritage Memorial Chapel. Our staff is committed to walk with your family with compassion through this time of grief. We are here to help and here to serve, the right kind of help when you need it most. Heritage Memorial Chapel.
I'm John Divis from Wenatchee Dental Arts, and I like to think myself as a comprehensive dentist. We are an office that treats people comprehensively for their dental problems. We do a lot of general dentistry in a broad sense. We don't send everything out. Things that we have the ability to do in the office, we like to keep in the office and under one roof and keep things as complication-free as possible. You can come to one place and have all their dental needs taken care of.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Washington's Bipartisan Redistricting Commission has missed its deadline to redraw legislative and congressional maps for the state. The commission of 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans held a vote last night to adopt new maps, but only after the midnight deadline had passed, and the commission later acknowledged its failure. That means voting maps for the next 10 years must be now drawn by the Washington State Supreme Court. In tonight's feature story, here's some of what took place in that 5-hour meeting.
The 8th in our discussions will continue to be a district that spans the Cascades. You will see the kind of historic 4th and 5th district running north-south in eastern Washington.
I think, as the public can probably tell, we're all just a little bit tired and still working really hard to get to a place where we might be able to take a vote.
Okay, great. Commissioner Fain?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Just a really quick question, because I know that I need to meet with staff for a minute here, but I was looking at some of the things like a split between Chelan and Douglas County, and I'm wondering if anyone can speak to that. I'm thinking it might just be the way that population is being pushed up because of the way that some of the eastern Washington needs to move into western Washington, and I just didn't know if anybody could maybe educate me about that.
Historically, Chelan and Douglas counties have been together in the 12th legislative district. We faced a number of challenges this year in central and eastern Washington with population shifts and with issues we're working through in Yakima. And I think that there may be the prospect of the need to split Chelan and Douglas County as they traditionally have been together. I'm not sure that I would not do it in a vacuum, but I think that it may be something that I might be recommending that we do as part of a proposed plan.
The first item is our final congressional plan. And I wonder if there is a motion to adopt the final congressional plan.
So moved.
Second? Waiting for a second on the congressional plan.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Terrific. Let's move on to that passes final legislative plan. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you all had a great Tuesday. A lot more sunshine out there today and a lot less wind. That was sure nice today. As we look down at the Wenatchee Valley, you can still see some clouds out there. This was from earlier this afternoon and some blue sky, but temperatures definitely a little bit cooler than we've seen. In fact, a lot cooler than we've seen. Unofficially high temperature today, 49. Remember, yesterday we broke a record, 64. The day before, 70 degrees. So we went down quite a bit. 43 is our normal high, and 56 is today's record high, and that was set back in 2010. We started off the day at 32 degrees, and that's getting us back to where we should be for low overnight temperatures. 31 is our normal. Record high, 2014, when it was only 17 degrees. We did pick up another 1/100th of an inch of moisture overnight, and that now gets our precipitation since January 1st to almost 5 inches at 4.95. Sunrise 7:07, and the sun will set, or should say it's set already at 4:23. Let's take a look at how your Wednesday shapes up as far as temperatures go. And a lot like today, maybe a little bit cooler in some locations. In fact, Moses Lake afraid of mid-40s, 44 degrees, 43 in Quincy, 42 the high temperature in Wenatchee tomorrow, 40 in Leavenworth, 40 in Cashmere, and way up north, Omak, Tenasket area, you will see a high tomorrow. One of our cooler spots at only 40 degrees. Taking a look at our surface loop now, lots to get to. Tonight we'll see mostly clear skies. Here's high pressure and our circulation around that. Underneath that, here we sit with all that cold air in place, and it will get chilly tonight with lows between 25 and 30. For your Wednesday, some quiet weather and kind of in between weather, partly cloudy skies. It will be a little bit cooler, as we mentioned, with highs only in the low 40s. And here we go on Thursday. Here's our next storm system wrapping up off the Oregon coast. It's going to bring some moisture our way, and with that cold air in place, look what happens by about noon on Thursday, and that's going to linger through our afternoon and even into our evening hours. And yes, I think it will be the first time we'll see snowfly will be on Thursday. For Friday, mostly cloudy skies. It will be a little bit warmer. Another area of high pressure building out in the Pacific, but it's grabbing that colder air and moving it right into us, so it's not going to be all that warm. By the time we get to Saturday, we'll call it seasonal with high temperatures in the mid-40s. Most of the colder air still well up into Canada and through the Rocky Mountains. For Sunday, as we end the weekend, we can expect mostly cloudy skies, slightly cooler temperatures once again, with high temperatures in the low 40s. High pressure will hold on for another day on Sunday into Monday too, with cloudy skies. Maybe an isolated shower late in the day on Monday with temperatures in the mid-40s. And then this system, you can't see it yet, but that will make its way in by the middle of next week. And it looks like a pretty good rain event once again for us. Let's take a look now at your 7-day forecast. Low tonight, get ready for it. 28 degrees, 42 tomorrow, 28 again our overnight low. And then a rain-snow mix on Thursday. Cloudy skies, 70% chance. High temperatures only at 40 degrees, 46 mostly cloudy for Friday. And as we get into the weekend, a mixture of partly to mostly cloudy skies and mid-40s. And we'll stay that way on Monday too, with cloudy skies, a 30% chance of rain, and high temperatures right around 46. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
A new novel is now available at Amazon.com. The title, Lost Treasure of the China Bar, details life on the Columbia River and Plateau during the 1800s. You ask, is the treasure still buried somewhere near Chelan? Find out by reading Lost Treasure of the China Bar.
Lost Treasure of the China Bar. Buy it on Amazon.com. $12.99 for paperback, $2.99 for Kindle. A great gift.
Are you a take charge kind of person? Consider a career as a health unit coordinator. You'll work to keep health facilities running efficiently by coordinating medical providers, patients, and departments. The Charter College Certificate in Health Unit Coordinator program can get you up to speed on basic patient care, health records management, health and safety procedures, and medical billing. And the 10-month online program includes a computer you keep. Get started at chartercollege.edu, where we work to get you to work.
Saturday, December 4th, RLS Productions presents the West Coast Best Bon Jovi and Journey tribute bands at the Wenatchee Convention Center. Non-Jovi will bring back the stadium rock of the 80s, and the Infinity Project celebrates Journey, one of rock and roll's greatest hitmakers. Guests may enjoy an exquisite dinner before the concert or just the concert. Dinner and concert tickets are available at rlstickets.com. That's rlstickets.com.
With TV advertising, what we want to do is more deeply connect with the community.
People spot me in different parts around North Central, Costco and Wenatchee, say, hey, you're the pizza guy. And so they wouldn't know that if it weren't for the TV commercials we've done.
We've been here so long that people already know who we are and what we do, but to have that image flash on their television screen as opposed to just hearing it in the radio or seeing it in the newspaper, I just love the fact that we can actually put our finger on when a customer comes in and says, I saw your ad.
It's becoming increasingly difficult in this digital age to know where are your customers listening or watching, because I watch all the different channels that they watch too, like Cooking Channel, History Channel, and so it was wonderful to be able to be on there.
I would say that if you want to do business in Wenatchee, then you should connect with the people of Wenatchee, and there's no better way to do that than with NCWLIFE.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Tuesday to you. Number 1 ranked Gonzaga improved to 3-0 in men's college basketball last night. Julian Strother led 4 players in double figures with 18 points as the Bulldogs beat Alcorn State 84-57 in the Kennel. Freshman Hunter Salas came off the bench and added 16 as the Zags improved the nation's longest winning streak at home to 54 games. Coach Mark Few says it was good to get some guys some rest to prepare for number 2 UCLA and number 7 Duke coming up.
I thought especially that first half was kind of exactly what we were looking to accomplish. We had a great defensive effort again. I think we've had pretty much 3 halves to start this thing. Just excellent on the defensive end, just really adhering to what the game plan was and driving percentages down. Took okay care of the ball. But you got to respect how hard Alcorn plays, man, and how quick-handed they are and how quick to the ball they are. I think that kind of gave us a little bit of problems there as the game moved on. But, we were able to get a lot of guys, a lot of minutes, a lot of experience, and so that was a good thing.
In other men's college basketball last night, Terrell Brown Jr. had 20 points and 9 assists. Dejon Davis added 15 points. And Washington defeated Texas Southern 72-65. Huskies improved to 2-1 with the win. Washington coach Mike Hopkins said it was nice to get the win, but they still have some things to work on.
I like how we started the game offensively. We've been working on our offense. I felt like our guys were making extra passes, moving the ball well, better. Player movement, ball movement was better. But we were getting killed on the glass, and I didn't feel like we were fighting enough at the start of the game. And, they remind you of when we played Houston in Hawaii. They're relentless on the glass. That's what they do. We talked about it, and they kept still doing it, and I felt like we had to be tougher. But those are the 2 areas, I think, as we move forward, that good and the bad.
Also last night, F.A. Agobidi scored 18 points, grabbed 8 rebounds, and blocked 6 shots as Washington State took a commanding lead in the first half and cruised to a 73-65 win over UC Santa Barbara. Cougar coach Kyle Smith says this is one of the best non-conference win in his 3 years on the Palouse.
This was a really good team that came in here that played in the NCAA tournament, had an opportunity to beat Creighton last year, and a really good test for us, and we really came out and played really well first half. We're really energized and knew that any good team's going to keep coming at you, and we were able to kind of hold them off, and but played really well. Probably one of our best non-conference wins maybe since I've been here.
Washington State travels to Idaho on Thursday, while Washington hosts Wyoming. Gonzaga will host Bellarmine Friday at 6 o'clock. Well, through 9 games this NFL season, the Seahawks offense ranks 30th or worst in 8 categories, including number of plays, yards, and third down conversions. Coach Pete Carroll says Sunday's shutout loss at Green Bay points to the problems on offense.
We're real frustrated the way it came out. We had intended to get
get some stuff going. It didn't work out for us. We just couldn't get a rhythm again. And these guys played really good again on defense, and they gave us a hard time. But we're disappointed, and we go back to every play. We're looking at every play that could have gone the other way, completions or runs, and we're just frustrated. We're not finding the rhythm that we need to find.
Carroll met with the media Monday following Sunday's 17-0 loss to the Packers. He says he'd like to see more running plays, but with the lack of plays available, it makes it difficult.
Again, in this game, it's not making first downs, Greg. There's not enough chances. We came out and ran the ball, hit 11, hit a 6, and got some movement and some space, but then we didn't convert and we're off the field. We have been in this rhythm a lot this year where our opponent will move the ball to kill some clock, and we're playing good defense, but it's still eating up clock. And when we're not making first downs on the other side, all of a sudden the half is just squished into nothing, And so, we're not creating enough movement, and that means we have to drive the ball better. So that comes from being efficient on first and second down, and obviously you need to convert. But we would rather be, making first and second down move for us, so we make some first downs there as well. And it hasn't caught fire the way it needs to, and so it's still a work for us.
Seattle will host Arizona Sunday at Lumen Field at 1:25. The game will be broadcast on Fox. Well, the Wenatchee Wild have been so close so many times this season, including 2 games at the end of last week at home against West Kelowna. For its efforts, however, Wenatchee's record is 2-4-3-1. That's 3 losses in overtime and another in a shootout. Radio voice of the Wenatchee Wild, Sean Zier, says what's a sign of good things for Wenatchee is that they came back in both of the games last week.
What comes out of this weekend is the fact that, they were down, that Wenatchee was down, and they came back and tied the game and brought it into overtime. That's something that hasn't been, we haven't seen this year. And usually it's been the other way around. So it was nice to actually see them come back. They almost came back on Saturday night to tie the game up, and they had a couple chances towards the end of the game, but unfortunately, it just didn't work out the way that they wanted it to work out. But again, West Kelowna is a really good team, and they have a mix of veterans. They have some younger players as well. But I definitely think that no shame at all losing to a West Kelowna team.
Wenatchee dropped a 5-4 decision in overtime to West Kelowna on Thursday, then a 4-3 decision Friday to the Warriors. Zier says there is an element of the Wild's game that is improving but still needs some more work, and he's referring to the power play there. The Wild will travel to Nanaimo coming up on Friday, Victoria on Saturday, and Langley on Sunday before returning home next week to host Saminar. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. Tomorrow on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, the group is called ROAR. ROAR is an acronym for Rescue Our Aging Roads. As you know by now, that $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill was signed into law by President Biden. What does that mean for us here in North Central Washington with our aging roads, bypasses, bridges, and the like? They need some fixing up. They need some TLC. We'll talk to the group ROAR tomorrow on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll have that very chilly weather forecast and everything else you need to start your Wednesday. And it'll be Winning Wednesday, too. Can't wait to find out what we're going to give away. Winning Wednesday tomorrow. Don't forget about that. I'll see you at 7 a.m. live and local right here for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Graham, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dan. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at NCWLIFE.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@NCWLIFE.com or give us a call at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.
Counterplay inside, picking his way back to the 10, to the 5.
High school sports is back, and NCW Life Channel's got you covered. Tune in for football, girls soccer, and volleyball right here. Thanks to our sponsors, Harvest Valley Pest Control, Rivercom 911, and Sangster Motors. Follow all the action of high school sports on your local TV station, the NCWLIFE channel.